Of our discussion on this unique platform for leadership provided to Namibia's first female president. We have the youngest person to lead a political party in Africa and former Minister Social, Gender and Children's Welfare in Sierra Leone, Dr. Sylvia Blyden. She joins us from Freetown. It's good to have you join us on the news.
It's good to be here again.
All right, so talk to us first. Let me get your reaction. I know that you know the new president so well. Talk to us, how did you feel when you heard or finding out that eventually she, after a tumultuous, would I say, or controversial presidential election, now that she's been sworn in as president of Namibia, I just want to get your thoughts first of on what you think this portends for women leadership in that sphere.
First of all, let me say that this is a strong woman who has proven herself over 6 decades as being a woman of integrity, of strength, irreproachable levels of leadership. So for someone who has served in the public eye for 6 decades, to emerge as the leader of her nation by popular ballot, it gives tremendous ripple of hope across Africa that other strong women can be identified to be leaders because of their strength and their show of irreproachable integrity levels. So I was so excited, and I joined hundreds of thousands of potential female leaders across Africa to jubilate yesterday at her inauguration.
Oh, pretty interesting, because a lot of persons, would have argued about how the patriarchal system that we have in Africa, how it makes it really difficult for women to rise to that particular place of authority in leading a nation like Namibia, for instance. But talk to us about her style of leadership, how she intends to, a style of leadership, experience, and how this will shape our approach to governance and decision-making. Do you think there will be any change from having a man at the helms of affairs?
Oh, most definitely. And if you have followed her leadership style, she's been in leadership for over 30 years. 30 years ago, 1995, United Nations Conference on Women, delegates from all over the world came together and they elected one strong African woman to be the Rapporteur General. And who was that woman? The women from across the world, white, blacks, Indians, decided should be the Rapporteur General. It was this new president of Namibia. This was 30 years ago. That shows you that this is somebody who was identified as a leader 30 years ago. And she's been in the public eye leading women's issues. She was the Minister of Women and Children's Affairs. She was also the Deputy Prime Minister, and then she became the Vice President, and she's now the President. So it has been a progressive leadership style in the public eye. And every time she leads, she shows that she's leadership material. So even though it is a patriarchal society, indeed, but this is a woman who, at the age of 14 years, she joined men to go into the bushes and fight for independence for her country. This is not an ordinary woman in the kitchen. This is a strong woman since the age of 14 years. So even though it's a patriarchal society, indeed, in Africa, but when we see someone like her emerge and be chosen, we are very happy that indeed strong women can be identified.
Of course, Namibia.
Her leadership style, is one where she has faced tremendous battles within her party. She emerged victorious out of those battles. She's faced tremendous battles within governance circles, and she has emerged victorious within those battles. There was another woman who was to have been chosen as the presidential candidate, but the strength of this current president, Mama NNN, emerged as one that should be more fitting than the other woman who other people had felt would be chosen. She's a strong woman. She deserves to be president, and she's inspiring so many of us to continue to be strong.
Truly inspiring indeed. She has, in her speech, she said that she has pledged to create 500,000 jobs over the next 5 years, focusing on sectors like agriculture and fishing. And we've seen Namibia, we've seen it go through certain strong economic growth due to its investment in oil and gas and green hydrogen. However, but there are reports that the country also ranks second highest globally for income inequality. How would this new administration balance the economic growth?
She has already, about 3 days ago, she made it very clear that she's going to cut down on the number of cabinet ministers. She's going to cut down on a lot of government expenses, and she's going to channel this into creating jobs, especially for young people, especially for young Namibians. I am very hopeful. This is a woman who has anti-corruption credentials of the highest order. She's not corrupt. She's been in public service for over 30 years, in cabinet at the highest levels, and she's never been tainted with corruption. I am very hopeful, like many of us, that she's going to be able to create those 500,000 jobs. She will do it. She's not corrupt. She has a vision, and she has spoken eloquently yesterday about how she intends to go about this vision. I have a lot of confidence that she's going to be able to do it. I pray that she succeeds, because for the rest of us strong women who also aspire to lead our nations one day in the future, when we get to the age where we are matured enough to lead, when she succeeds, she makes it so much easier for us when we would also want to step up and lead our nations. She's going to succeed. I think she's going to succeed.
Although some persons would also question her age, she's 72 years. But the question I would like to really ask is, apart from the concern of her age, if she would be able to lead the country for that long, what opportunities really do you see for collaboration between Namibia and other African countries?
The greatest democracy in the world is the United States of America. At their last elections, the age of the two leading presidential candidates, was way above Mama Netumbo's age. So age really here, with advancement in medicine, you see the way people are living longer, stronger. I think the age doesn't really matter, because we're seeing, I mean, some leaders across the world who are above 70 are performing splendidly. I won't name names, but some of them are doing fantastically well. Now, the second arm of your question was, apart from the age, what was the second arm? Whether she would...
Collaboration with other African countries. In what areas would you see Namibia collaborate with other African countries?
There is a lot of space for collaboration, especially now that we are opening up with the AFTA, we are opening up the free trade zones across Africa. There's quite a lot of collaboration. And let me remind you that this is a woman who, when she was fighting for independence, when she was in the bushes fighting for independence from the South African apartheid, she could not get a passport. And the only way she could travel was through collaboration across Africa. And how did that happen? That happened with us in Sierra Leone. We gave diplomatic passports to her, to the former president, the late deceased one who just died, most of these freedom fighters. So there was collaboration across Africa that she has learned from her teenage years. So if she hadn't collaborated with Sierra Leone, she would not have had a Sierra Leone passport to travel with. So I think that in terms of collaboration, she's been collaborating. She's led a lot of African Union conferences. I have attended several that she's led, including the 7th African Conference on Promoting Gender Equality on the continent. And she has always, always preached collaboration across African nations. So I believe that she will be able to utilize that, especially the Africa Free Trade Zone that we're now working on, to advance the development of Namibia.
Former Minister, Social, Gender and Children's Welfare, Sierra Leone, Dr. Sylvia Blyden, thank you so much for talking to us. I also understand that you were the youngest person to lead a political party in Africa. Truly inspiring to speak with you.
Yes, thank you very much. I try my best, and I hope to be president of Sierra Leone one day.
Yeah, we hope to see that. Of course, we want to see that. We're advocating for you, of course, supporting you all the way.
Thank you very much. Thank you.